And now we're going to drop an E with Somnambulist Internationale and Radio On.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Road runner, going faster miles an hour. Gonna drive past the Stop and Shop with the radio on. I'm in love with the modern world. Massachusetts when it's late at night, and the neon when it's cold outside. I got the radio on, just like a road runner, going around the highway. Like a road runner. Now what do you think about that, you guys? Radio. Good. We got the AM. Radio. I think we got the power, got the magic now. Radio. We got the feeling of the modern world. Radio. We got the feeling of the modern sound. Radio. The sound of the modern radio feeling.
I love Uzis. They're one of my favorite firearms. I grew up shooting them. You can never have too many Uzis.
Friends, I told you that my partner would be here, and here he is. You don't want to hear that, do you?
An obscene hoax letter sent out. The letter has prompted outrage because of its offensive contents. Hill was handed a copy by head teach. The letter is printed. It says,
I am writing to inform you that your recent trouble is for performing acts on the cubicles of toilets and has been referred to us for further action.
The letter goes on to obscene suggestions. Mr. Hill rang the number given on the bottom of the letter and heard a recorded message informing listeners that it was all part of a publicity stunt to promote a book. The message adds,
The whole thing is a joke. We hope that you have been unduly offended by it, because that was certainly our intention.
The book denied that they had. The book meant to be used on people. Unfortunately, there are people about. I cannot see the fun. The person receiving it does. Mr. Hill remained unconvinced. He said,
I was appalled by the contents of this SI offensive. I have passed copies to the police and would urge anyone who receives a copy of this not to find it at all amusing. I can imagine receiving something like this.
So, you're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes.
I bring you jets on go to this homegrown man, modified. What you hear is the sound of pain.
These are terrible times.
on the beat.
Nothing they can do about it.
Never being around when needed.
Walking the streets.
Death by the mob.
The fighters are apparently still free.
Harrowing.
Hard to endure.
Those who create silence now rejoice in the outcome of the case.
Witness the woman.
The chorus of condemnation.
Events happen to remind us all.
Late at night.
Something wrong.
Moments.
Multiply.
Thanks to the skill of a doctor.
The innocent in a Christmas plot.
A sad reflection on us all that he has taken such a tragedy to put things in perspective.
Answer those who have demanded.
Can we trust the police anymore?
Day in, day out.
Police officers display acts of shame.
On the beat.
On the subject.
The police. Have they really changed for the worse?
We know that Dixon of Dock Green was a bit of a myth.
Oh, everyone knew that.
Which meant so much.
Placing you under arrest. That'd be ridiculous. I haven't done anything. Get in the back of the van!
Freedom is a road seldom traveled by the multitude.
Public enemy number one.
Show what you got. Show what you got. Show what you got.
Public enemy number one.
The same guy that gave wisdom to Frankenstein.
Public enemy.
Show what you got.
Public enemy.
Show what you got.
Public enemy
The
number
same
one.
guy that gave wisdom to Adam Clayton Powell. Show what you got.
Public enemy.
Show what you got.
Public enemy. Public enemy.
convinced certain conduct applicants have the ability to be pretty rude when in public.
Any hint of tact or sensitivity rejected.
Those who succeed, then.
Recently, outside with Somnambulist Internationale, I returned to find I'd failed to notice a sign. At the end of the working day, I had to walk the pouring rain in the dark. Once taken easy, I had to extricate.
Like a grim episode.
I know it was my fault. Would have helped if I'd been treated with civility, rather than cross-examined by an unpleasant sadist. His face cracked into a grim look. My proof of identity. He looked, then looked up at my face, running in rivulets, my wild eyes.
When you were young,
he sneered.
But there's another possibility. Maybe you're a musician yourself. Do you play an instrument, Mr. Berger? Boy's out of his head. I'm out of my head, all right. By every other hand liquor you got working for you. How many guys you got blowing their heads off for scale right now? And who gets the bread? Come now, Cass. I'm sorry, Lucas. Don't apologize on me, right? I never felt better. You hear that, Mr. Berger? I feel fine.
I approached and saw a young lad, evidently in a state of extreme suffering and exhaustion.
It was to be feared in the last stage of consumption.
His eyes were closed, but he opened them on my approach and stared at me with a kind of wild wonder, like a frightened animal. I told him as quickly as possible who I was and for what purpose I had come, and put a few of the simplest questions to him.
I answered nothing. I appeared totally unconscious.
Pressing further and speaking up, the few words he uttered had something of future judgment, but he had never read the sealed book, and he was consequently altogether ignorant.
My mind was an utter blank.
I was struck with dismay and despair. Here was a creature whose immortal soul, on the verge of eternity, must be lost forever.
And before me now, the hand of death close, not a moment to be lost, making use of my own story.
The strayed sheep expressed and followed me with great interest while I explained to him the full meaning, not only understanding but also the things spoken.
I myself was the lost sheep, who was sent to seek all the joys of heaven and come down to earth and other lost ones like myself.
The poor boy, without murmuring the freezing wind, endured the fierce contradictions of himself and the insults without opening his mouth of complaint.
And at last destruction, our home, to tread the perilous path alone.
Dead, beat and tired. Were they not all at home when we returned?
That they were. The people that heard our loss all came in the next morning to us. These matters are mighty. They kept the dark night.
It was morning before I got home, and the end of it will never be better.
God knows I did my best. The sheep, I thought, here is the history. The sheep is lost.
The son goes willingly, suffers all complaining, and in the end, his life recovered, he carries his friends and ours over.
The sheep which was lost but is found again. My prayer was answered. My way was made plain, and I availed myself of this happy opening.
Explain that.
Explain this.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Get your hands in the air, sir. Woo. Yeah. Then you will get no hurt, mister. No. I said yeah. I said yeah. What they say? What they say? Don't you hear? I say yeah. Yeah. This is what they say. Do you believe I would take something with me and give it to the policeman? I wouldn't do that.
Week, month after month, you have been warned.
The first thing to be done is to continue your life as art.
Relate to situations at work.
You feel out of your time.
There is no way to experience this by allowing others to act.
Dance with their consciences.
You are certainly loyal, devoted and constant.
You are a child, yet have the age.
The law of Somnambulist International, nothing happens by chance.
Recently, days of light have been followed by inactivity and a sense of isolation.
Why?
Because you forget.
It is fine, but you need to get everything.
It is good to set goals.
However, you cannot hold on to the past.
There is nothing wrong with happiness.
Values that time cannot change.
Compared to them, success is trivial.
Where we sometimes go wrong is in pursuing trivial.
The first thing to ask yourself is, are you throwing words?
You have been duped.
You now run the risk.
Too much time has gone before and belongs to the past.
All the signs point to the new, the kind of opportunity you seek.
You can do whatever you want because you want.
No other reason.
There are days when you begin to wonder.
You have more than you long for.
Existence on balance, you feel exhilarated. Being in the forefront of so much that is new.
You can no longer think or do.
Now your turn to lay down the law and suffer the past by reversing negative instincts. You.
And so that was Radio On. The text was taken from Goat Island. The man in the voice was Steve Hillman. The woman in the voice was Beki Valentine. Man at the controls was Sonskrif Sound. Whatever happened to Somnambulist Internationale?
Here we go. That's right.